So today I'm hoping to get these posts installed, get the floor rim installed on top of it, and then these beams here. Rain is scheduled and I'm totally bummed out. I'll see how far I get before it starts raining. I don't like working in the rain. It sucks. So I started out getting both of my posts, cutting each end, making them flush, and cutting them at 9 feet. Then I put a 2 by 12 by 12 from the wall to the first post. And then I set up another 2 by 12 by 12 to the next post, measured it all, made sure the posts were plumb, and then put up my third and tied it together. So I had one long beam, essentially, across the whole garage. Then I decided to take my next 2 by 12 and do it at 18 feet so that the seam was in the middle and it spanned the post. This I felt was the strongest way to do it. So the next part is to take another post and stand it up and cut my notch in it for the rim, which will hold the floor above one of the garage bays. So what we done is awesome. So what I did was I cut my 16, cut the notch in my 16 that'll carry the rim for this floor here. And I've stood it up next to the other one, and I'm holding it in place with my totally awesome tool. So now I'm gonna drill a couple holes and get some bolts in these just to hold them together and hold it solid. The trick to doing this is getting everything to just stay where it needs to be long enough so that I can attach it all solid. So the first one was that post, getting it to stand there, and then holding it there while I got one rim on top of it. Okay, and then did the next one. I got that post to stand there in the next one, and then I doubled it with two 18s, and now those are held there this way, and the building is square this way in the middle. And now when I run this rim here, I need to make sure this is plumb. I need to make sure that outside wall is plumb. And it's hard when you need to measure it for its size. And both of them have to be plumb when you measure, so you know exactly how. Actually, that's not true. If I just measure from the floor, that should technically be the length. So maybe I'll just do that. But anyway, so that's what we're doing. So I got these joists done. And I was going to do those front floors first, but I think I'm just going to keep cooking along here, get all these joists up, and then do the front. Right now I'm going through and I'm marking. I'm going to hang all the joist hangers, then I'll hang all the joists. Pretty simple. So when you're cutting 2 by 12 by 16s, needless to say they're heavy. If you have one of these roller stands like I do, see, it rolls, set it just outside of halfway. So this is like halfway on the board. That makes it so much easier. So when you're lining up your cut, mark here, just your fingers have enough strength to adjust it back and forth to where you're going to cut. Right there. Works pretty well. So this, I think, was a totally fun part of the garage. I mean, hanging a 16-foot 2 by 12 alone is not the easiest thing in the world, and I'll show you in a different video how I did it. But it's really, I don't know, it's machine-like. It's the same process, and you get good at it over and over and over, and you just kind of know exactly how you're supposed to move and what you do, and I don't know. It was just really fun. I did, however, mess up, and that'll also be in a different video. In this section, I really should have had clamps on the beam that you see in front of you, because the beam sort of separated. It wasn't as tight as it could be, and that kept the joist from actually being as far back as it could have been. But anyway, I'll show that in a different video. So here, I put up the rim for the floor above the garage bay. It's two 2 by 12 by 20s, which again are not very easy to install alone. But if you put up one end and you're really careful on a ladder on the other, you can do it. I mean, obviously I did it a number of times, but so there I just put on the joist hangers. Here I'm actually putting a 2x4 on top of the wall because the the joists are 2x10 and the rim on the other side is a 2x12, and so I had to make up that difference between the 2 inches. So here I'm putting up obviously the second post. My 16 footer, it's already got the notch cut in it. It rained like crazy while I was cutting that post, but I just kept cutting. Here I'm putting up the second rim and putting all the joist hangers. And then I do the same. I put a 2x4 on the outside wall. Of course, after I get 4 joists up, I remember that I have to do that. And then the camera finally ran out of battery. But I kept working the rest of the day and got the entire floor done that day. So psyched. Next video.